All right, welcome everyone. This is the Viper Professional Training and Support webinar. Today's date is Monday, July 31st, 2017. This Monday night webinar, and the title of tonight's webinar is Training on the New Stealth Trader for Object Trader. And as everyone knows that's been to our webinars or our live trading room, everything that we say and do at Viper Trading Systems is for educational purposes only. Futures trading, Forex trading, any kind of financial instruments trading involves risk. Therefore, there's always risk of loss. You should only trade discretionary capital, and that is money that you can afford to lose. Nothing said in this webinar. Other webinars we might have, our live trading room or anything else with Viper Trading Systems, should never be construed as trading or investment advice. And as always, everyone does trade at their own sole discretion. Any questions on the disclaimer? All right, if not, we will go ahead and show a chart. Now, one thing I want everybody to keep in mind, when this does come out, all you'll really need to do to get ready for the new one is just simply remove the one that we just sent out literally a few weeks ago. Okay, it'll be the one that we sent out a few weeks ago is called Object Power Trader, and I believe it's dated 07/10 or 11. I don't remember exactly, but the new one's going to be dated 08/01. Okay, so all you have to do is remove one, put the other one on. And just real quick, don't be like Charles, because he got his this afternoon, and he goes, Gary, I don't have the new Stealth Trader. And I said, did you restart Ninja Trader? And he goes, oh, yeah, I forgot that. So always be sure to restart Ninja Trader, because you won't get the new features until you do. Okay, that was just a little funny since Charles actually helps develop this stuff, but I thought I'd gig him a little bit. Okay, and it's being recorded, so he may hear it. That's okay. All right, so let's go ahead and show the new little trader. First off, just remember the new one's going to be called Object Power Trader Stealth. Okay, instead of Object Power Trader, it'll be called Object Power Trader Stealth 08/01/17_1230. You love him anyway. Mindy says, yeah, I know. I like to gig him once in a while. Did you hear my little gig in the room this morning when I said, you know, he had banker's hours? I don't think he even caught it. Because, you know, I'm in there 30 minutes earlier, so I consider mine to be more the blue-collar working man, and he's the banker's hours. All right. Anyway, he can watch this webinar and know we did a little fun gigging on him. All right. Let's go ahead and get started with the webinar then. All right, so if I can get that email ready and everything, I will go ahead and blast it. If we don't get the email and everything, it may still be in the morning, because I do have to prepare an email and get it ready to go. And I forgot about one thing. We do need to change the template out. Okay. Pat says, yeah, I see you take shots at him often, and I love it. I know he doesn't take shots at me. I'm just kind of evil, and I take them at him, I guess. But it's fun. All right, so that's the first time I've ever taken 3 minutes in a webinar to talk about something besides what I'm here to talk about. Let's go ahead and go to our strategy. Okay, now when you get your new one, okay, when you put it on, you're going to actually be just a little different, because you're going to have this area right here that says Stealth Mid Parameters, Stealth MTF parameters, pardon me. That's Stealth MTF for multiple tick frame parameters. And you just simply set it on the 4-range chart. More than likely, yours is going to say 1 minute, so be sure and you change that. John says, although during Thursday night, he allows us to trade what we call Gary's money. Okay, so in other words, oh, okay, that's fine. I don't usually trade at night, by the way. There's too much to life to have fun. All right, so when you do get your Stealth Trader, make sure that every single one of these is set to 4 range, like your predictor. Remember, otherwise you'll have double predictors. Your stealth, you'll have double stealths even, because you still have the indicator in your package that will print the stealth on your chart, but Object Trader has to call this indicator to actually take the trade. That's why it has to be inside Object Trader also. Okay, because it's looking at it in real time and it's looking to call that indicator. So real quick again, make sure 4 range, 4 range. Okay, anything else you want to change on it, be sure and change whatever you want. We are going to default it at 3 contracts on the max quantity. Mine says 8, but yours will say 3. You'll want to change that to whatever you want it to be, and then right click and set it as your default. Okay, I also defaulted the trailing stops, just so you'll know. I changed the lightning one from a 1 to a 2 in the default, but if you want it back to a 1, all you have to do is say, you know what, I just want a 1, 2 with a 0. That's what it is in your original trail stop. Okay, your mid-band script for your trail stop is set on a 3 trend with 48 zone. Okay, you can change that if you want, but if you want your mid bands to be like ours in the room, that's what we use at. That's the settings we have. Okay, and the stealth trail, let me go over a little bit about this, because we weren't able to fix this one thing, and it's not really a fix, it's just the way the strategy actually recognizes this hard offset. Okay, if you want the stealth trail on your chart, I'll show you in real time here in just a second. If you want your offset set to 0, it's going to just simply follow the stealth line. Okay, if you set it at 4 on a long chart, it's going to be above the stealth line. You'll want to set it at minus to get it below it, and vice versa for a short. Okay, let me show you in real time what I'm talking about there. I'll go ahead and put this on our chart. There's Object Trader coming up. All right, now if you want to see any of your trail stops, just simply choose the one you want to see and hit the space bar and you'll see it. See the little dots right here at the bottom? The reason we put that, at 0 is because you need to choose what trail stop you want it to be. There's not a preset on this. For some reason, when the programmer did this, he didn't default it to 4 or anything like that. So it's whatever you want it to be. Okay, everybody get that so far? Let's see, do any of the trail stops get enabled automatically after a trade is initiated? You can, Peter. I'll show you how to do that tonight, as a matter of fact, because we have changed this now to where trail enabled and engaged trail will remember that trail, and that way you can constantly keep it, or you can even flip back and forth between the trail stops. So that'll be a little added plus for you there. Okay, now notice I've got the trail right now on the dynamic trend, which is actually saying that it's on line 0. If you want the trail changed, you just simply change and see how it goes to line 3, line 4. You can't see it right now, but it's on line 4, line 5, and so on. Okay, now that's important because if that comes down and touches that stop, it's going to take you out of the trade. So you've got to know kind of where to put your stop. And that's what we teach in our webinars, is how to see these in real time. When Charles says, for instance, put your stop at mid-band, that's what he's talking about right there, mid-band. And if you don't want to see the stop, you can leave it to where you don't have it. Let me just put it back down here. See where that stop is right there? If I hit the space bar, it goes away. If I hit the space bar, it comes back. Okay, now let me show you what I was talking about on the stealth trail stop, which is, and by the way, I changed the names of these. Instead of just trail 3 that you don't really remember what it is the next time you use it, it says trail 3 VIP. That means the dynamic trend. Okay, trail 2 is the stealth. You just simply select it. Now notice how stealth, I've got this set at 4, but see, on a 4, it's above stealth on a long. So if you want that even with stealth, you just go to 0. Okay, or if you want it under stealth for a long, you can do like that and offset it a little bit, and it'll remember that. Okay, by just simply engaging your trail. We're not in a trade, so we can't engage a trail right now, although we can engage it, and it will go ahead and do that particular trail. All right. Now, if we were short on this, remember that if you're minus, see how the magenta dot is below the stealth? So to get it above the stealth, you'd need to go the opposite direction. You'd need to go +4. See there? See how it gets above stealth? That way, if you want to use stealth as an actual stop, you can. Notice how, even though this little dot here, for instance, it didn't take you out of the trade and it kept trailing down until it took you out of the trade right here on this blue one, or when it closed above the magenta one, which would probably be, well, when it turned blue right here is when it would have done it. Okay? Any questions on that so far? Stealth is a good stop. Yeah, absolutely. Especially if you, for instance, let's say what I'm going to do to show you how to operate this any way you want to is we're going to take every single stealth, but we're going to have a very tight stop just in case that particular stealth doesn't work for us. Okay? Now, what I would recommend doing, though, would be in your real trading, would be if you've got basically your sideways type of midband, I'd trade it either way you want to. But if you've got a green or a blue midband, you're pretty much wanting to stick with the long, unless you see a high, a low, a lower high, and you think, hey, if this takes out midband, we might just get us a trade. Well, then, turn stealth on. Let's see, Gary, does the reverse and stop work on the stealth? The reverse and stop, you mean on the stop line itself? Yes. You can also even reverse it, as it takes out a stealth if you want to also. Yeah, reverse it, stop on the stealth trail. Let's see. You're saying, for instance, if it closed below here, could you actually reverse it? If that's where your stop is, yes, because what you do is you would set your target stop area right here to exit on close, reverse it, stop. So yes. Yeah, if you select exit at close or even just reverse it, stop, yes. But if you hit reverse it, stop, even if it touches it, it will reverse you. So you'd have to be careful with that one. Okay. All right. Any questions so far on the stops? And you do also have a PM stop, which is your lightning. The reason I put that as trail 1 PM means power meter. If you select that one, you'll notice that anytime you change your stop, it will change on here. And I've got this one hard to offset at 4. And of course, you can put it right even with at 0 if you want. See, that's your lightning, thrust, retrace, thrust, retrace, thrust. That's your number 2 right there. If you did it for 1, I think it would take it on up. Maybe not. It didn't do enough of 1 to do it. Okay, which I'm going to change that, by the way, because to me, let's see if it would do it with 0 offset. No, it's still looking down here. Because this didn't close above here is why. See it? If that bar would have closed above here, that would have been a swing, but it's not a swing. That's your swing. Now that stops down there a ways. So, if you see that and you think, well, you know what, I'll just go with stealth instead, you can just click it that quick. Okay, but just remember, if you're long, you may want a negative offset on stealth so it doesn't wick it. Okay, and you can do this literally on the fly, however you want to. Okay, let's see, but if you went short right now and engaged the PM trail, it will take you out right now. Let me think. If you went short right now and engaged the PM trail, the PM trail, oh, if you went short, absolutely. You're talking about like if you did the PM trail right here, and let's do it on like a 2 and a 2, like I've got it set normally, and you were to short that like this, and then turn on your trail stop like that, right? Then it should actually Let's see, I went short on that, didn't I? Why did it stop? Let's see. Yeah, let's just let it go for a second and see, because that's above the stop, so obviously it should just take you out, shouldn't it? I would certainly think. Except that I've got like a 20 on this thing, because when I set mine the other day to test this out, I actually set it on 20. That's not short, that's actually long. Let's try that again. Let's go with a sell, like so, and put your stop in right there. Yeah, see, it'll take you out. Okay, so what you want to do, if you are using any stop for a sell, would have to be above. Everybody knows that, right? Because if you were to sell this, you would want your stop like up in here. Okay, that was a good question though, Diane, on your question there. Let's see, it did stop it out and flipped it to long on reverse. Oh, okay, that's what it did then. We had exit on reverse on, didn't we? Okay, so let's go ahead and try this thing out and see if we can actually trade with it. Now, what would you do if you walked in the room right now and you said, you know what, this silly thing, we just missed an entry. See it right there? We just missed an entry. Okay, so what do we got to do? Do you just jump in with like, 5 contracts and say, you know what, I'm just going long right there? You got to wait. Because most times, now we may get a 5 ticker, who knows? We may even get a run, we don't know. But I can tell you this, that if you jump in like that, you're usually going to end up on the red. Okay? Because for every thrust, there's a retrace. Let's watch it and just see. We'll pull out of it even if it goes red on us. I don't care. I'll show you how to trade this. Let's see. Let me see if I'm missing any questions at all. I think I got them. Does anybody have any questions on those trails? You'll always be able to see them by simply hitting the space bar anytime you're on a trail stop. Okay? Now see, that's what a lot of people do right there, and then they get themselves in trouble. Now we don't know. This may go up a little bit here in a second anyway. It's testing support again. But do you ever notice that when you take a trade like that, you're always feeling the heat? You see what I mean? Do you want to feel heat? Or would you rather get in at the proper time? How come there are 2 rows of dots, Peter, on your question? Well, what that's looking at is basically on your stop here. We went to the other one. I'll have to go back to the PM and then engage it. But see, that's your PM trail right there. All that is that's the stop that's above your price, which is your long, and that's your stop. Like, let's say if we were short, this would be your stop right there. That's all that means. If my price was below this, this would be my stop. And since my price is above here, this is my stop. It always shows in twos on it. Would stealth take it here? No. No, stealth will not take it here, because you have to have a vacation, so to speak, a vacate spot in stealth. And if this pops up without closing, stealth will go ahead and continue over. So you would not get any trade here. Now, could you take it by just hitting enter? Yes. But as far as doing it the automatic way, no. If we missed it down here, you pretty much have to either chase it like we just did, okay, or wait for a thrust and a pullback, okay, which is what I would probably do, would be the thrust and the pullback. Let's see if we can see where, if they thrust up, where they would pull back to. Let's look and see. They haven't tested 650 yet, so I'll draw a line right there. And we haven't got a predictor yet either. Okay, but I'll bet you that predictor shows up somewhere right around here. I'll just draw an ellipse and we'll see if it does, because I'll bet it does. Right about in that area right there. Okay, let's watch it for just a second. Everybody see though, right there, you're feeling heat and you're thinking, why in the world did I just do that? And truthfully, what you should probably do if you get in the green is more than likely close out 4 of them. You see what I mean? Like, hey, I've got 20 bucks. Let's see if it goes above my swing a little bit, and then just click sell and get out of most of them, right? Okay, because it looks like it might go up a little bit more. You got a higher low. Maybe we lucked out on this one. But who wants to play luck out when you're trading? See what I mean? Because, you know, that's 80 when you're doing it with your real money. That's real dollars. So why would a person want to, you know, be down when you get in a trade to begin with very much? Now, we do have to have our stops in. But what I'm getting in mainly is don't chase trades, because this is usually what happens to you. This may go up a little bit, but could it also take us out? And the answer is yes. Okay. And then you're feeling $105 heat. You see what I mean? So again, don't chase the trade. You know, if you missed it all the way down here, yeah, we can turn on stealth. You want to do that? You want to get out of this trade first, though, or you want to see if we can get at least back to 0? So, Greg, on your question, would you just close it and move on? Well, right about this time right now, I'd be watching this bar, because I wouldn't let them come all the way back to here. So, you know, that this is like a hope trade, and I don't like hope trades, because everybody sees where you should have gotten it, right? Where you should have gotten this trade is when it popped up above here, kiss trade, right? Well, watch it come back and kiss that. Boom, up, back, kiss. See there? That's where you wanted the trade, not way up here. See there? Okay, I just wanted to show you that, where I wanted to show you what not to do. John says, it's okay. Tonight we're trading Charles's money. All right, we'll do that. What we'll do is we'll get out of this period if we get into some profit at all. And I'm not going to let them stop me out with the close of a bar. Let's see if we can get some profit on it. See if our Hope So trade can actually give us something. Almost. Hey, there we go. Come on, come on. That's good enough for me. I'd probably flatten it out. Now let's see if we can get a stealth trade. Okay, now if this continues up, I just probably jumped out of a trade that I probably shouldn't have. But usually when you get a thrust, you get a pullback. And watch stealth. Matter of fact, I'll put it on the stealth trail so you can kind of see it better with the dots. Right there, see those dots? Now if this closes below stealth right here, we'll get a little vacated spot in stealth. And then we can go ahead and get this. And what did I also say? We got a predictor that probably will look at that. Look at that. Now I'd probably be putting in a predictor trade, but since tonight's about stealth, let's just trade stealth. Let's see if we can get a stealth trade. Now usually if it comes down to predictor, I would probably jump in one, especially if it hits where I want it to. Right in this area right here. This is a little sweet spot right here. Let's see, would you do predictor and then stealth as an add-on? Well, what you could do, I wouldn't probably turn on predictor and stealth. I'd probably do something like this. I would go target like say 30, and then if this comes down to my line, I'd go ahead and buy one. And then I'd buy more if we get the green stealth. Object type is region, and I got in late, so let's turn it on stealth. All right, so we're going to go stealth, long. We're going to get in one if it comes down to my line or close to it. Or do you want to just do the stealth? Now, I like this trade right here myself. I'm watching for that. It's already hit this one. It hadn't tested this one. So if it comes down close to that, I'd probably buy. And usually not just one. You might even buy two since it's in queue. Stealth, please? Okay, we'll just do stealth. If we're going to do stealth, though, I'm going to do like 4. Okay, so stealth vacated. See there? There's no stealth now. So if we get a resumption of stealth, we will go ahead. What happened there? That is a good question right there. Let me see. Go back to stealth here. I may have messed that up. Yeah, okay. All right. So what I'm looking for is a trade down here. Now, like I said, I would probably buy this, okay, because it's right at a predictor. But let's just do it the stealth way. And keep in mind that the stealth way, this will get in every single stealth that there is if you leave it on 0. If I turned it on 1, it would have gotten this stealth. You know, if I just started the evening, that would be my first stealth. If I set it on 2 way back here, it would get the second stealth. When I set it on 0, because we already missed this stealth, I want the next one, and that's what it means, is that I want this next stealth. Okay, let's see if we can get something. Anybody up this time of night trading at all? Now keep in mind a stealth type trade is actually a little bit more of a breakout trade too. And stealth should, anytime, there you go, you just fired it, okay? So we fired our trade. Let's go ahead and move some targets out of the way. I just accidentally got rid of all my targets. And the reason that happened is because you cannot move, even though he fixed that part of the script, you cannot move your first target when it's hitting it. That's what happened, okay? Let's see if we can get in it again. The way this is going up, I'd probably even be looking somewhere in here or even here, because, and we're going to add lightning to this. You could actually do this right here. See that breaking that right there? I'd just add them. But unfortunately, I've lost my lines. So I'm going to kill it and I'll add it. Let's see if we get our lines back. If not, we'll have to restart it. So I thought he got that squared away. Maybe we can't release it tomorrow. Let me back this real quick. I'm going to go ahead and do my strategy, remove it, put it back on, and we'll try it again. Okay. Now, can you clearly see that you could also get this trade here? There's another one there. There's another one right there. You know, and as long as they're above the mid band, those are not bad little trades, especially when they touch mid band. Because you could be in this trade here, for instance, okay? And we'll even just go ahead, since this has done such a tremendous shot up, I'll just turn on the other one. See if we can get us, we'll go either way it goes. How's that? And we'll do 4. So confused with each stealth, do we need to change the number? No, Mindy, if you just leave it on 0, it'll take each and every one. Now keep in mind though, that if you don't have it on auto, it will turn off your trade. So you're not gonna get this trade, and so on, unless you leave it on auto, okay? Let's see if we can get one more green one, or one more. We'll go either way. This is double topping up here. See it double topping right before our eyes? We'll take either way it goes. Now, usually when you go against the trend, I would probably scalp it or at least watch it really, really close. Okay, now if I leave this on 0 and don't turn on auto, then this should turn off my long or short, whichever it takes. Let's see which one it takes. I'll have to speed this up a little bit. Well, if you keep turning on LE, yeah, you can do that if you want to. Now there's a power meter down. Maybe we'll get a red stealth. We'll find out. Might just do it. We'll find out. Now we won't take another trade unless we do get a stealth. We've got long and short turned on. And keep in mind, if I do turn this on auto, it will go ahead and leave the long and shorts on, especially if I turn on both of these, the auto LESE. These will stay on. That way you can get in more than one. I'll show you if I turn these off, you're only going to get one trade, whichever way it decides to go. You're only going to get one. So far, it's not a green and it's not a red. May come closer to being a red. You got a high, a low, a lower high. See if they take this out. They might. This is what I like about stealth. You get these huge moves, and just when you think that it's going to pop right back up, it may take it on down. We'll find out. But I've got them both turned on, so we'll get whichever way they go, and we'll have a tight stop just in case. Okay, now notice I've got all this turned off, so if this gets in a trade, it should go ahead and turn that to disabled. No green stealth, no red stealth. No green, no red. That's definitely sideways, isn't it? This is the area that I think confuses most people too, because depending on how tight you made a little box, you might have gotten a long. You see what I mean? It does. That's the whole area right there that I think confuses most people, and they give away some of their money. There you go. You just got a red stealth. Now notice that it just printed it up here. Okay. And when you drag your targets, be sure if you drag number 1, do it before it ever tags it, because that's only like set on 5 ticks right here. And the way you can lose these lines is definitely still, and I'm going to talk to him tonight and see if he can do anything on it before we release, evidently. But when I dragged it a minute ago, it had evidently tagged it before I let it go. The best way to do it is drag your targets quickly and drop them. You know, that way if they're near them, you won't be dragging it while it's already hitting a price, because that will make that disappear, and it confuses the line script. Okay, so usually what I end up doing is have the prices away from it and then move them out of the way just a little bit at a time, like so. Okay, now notice, Mindy, that this went off. Now we're down below midband, so I'd probably turn off this long. Okay, but if you turn on auto, okay, and then you turn this back on, see, we're getting a red stealth and even taking out the phantom area. See, here's support right here. Now what I would probably do in this trade would be put it on stealth with, since it's the short, you want your stealth to be like above it just a little bit, and turn on your space bar. See where that's right along with stealth, but just a little bit above it? That's a perfect little stop right there, I think, because it won't get me out here, it'll get me out here. Okay, and of course you can even raise that more if you want. See there? If you wanted it above midband or above predictor, you could do that just like that. I'm going to add that predictor stop. I think y'all will really like that. Let's see, is the stop about it the exit on close stop, Mindy, on your question? Or yeah, you could lower it too. But keep in mind, if you lower it and you just get taken out, you might miss out on good trades too. You know, because when they thrust, what do? They retrace near midband and then they roll over. That's an 85% probability trade up there. Of course, if you had like 3 or 4 contracts on, you might, lower your stop, obviously. But the beauty of this stop is you can do whatever you want with it. See there? I can actually move it in real time and then engage it, and it'll engage that stop right there where that dot is. Okay? Now, if I did want to add to this little trade here, notice that we haven't taken out stealth just yet. So stealth is going to continue drawing unless it closes above it. If it closes above it, it'll get that little vacated area again. And that's when you can add some trades. It's doing it. See there? Well, that might have closed right on it. We'll have to wait one more bar. That's definitely taken out support, so there's no question about it. I'd stay short with this trade. Another thing that I like about this type of trade, yeah, I see it did vacate it a little bit, that I like about this particular trade is you don't have to take this one that you're not sure of. What about this next one that comes up to midband and rolls over? Stealth will change. Let's watch it in real time and see if we can't get, let's just pretend we're not even in a trade at all. Let's just see if we can get, there's vacated stealth. Let's see if we can get it again. Little yellow bar probe so far. That's a predictor trade, by the way. I'd be in that trade already myself, but let's just go ahead and do it with stealth tonight. Now, you can also use lightning. We've got lots of things you can use in these scripts. When power meter is green like that, you could easily go from stealth to lightning just real easily. Okay? And you know where it would fill it. It would fill it when it closed below that wick right there. One of these days, if we don't try to get Object Trader too complicated, I'd like to actually have a if or type trade, like, do I want lightning or do I want stealth? And it would choose the one, that does it first. Exit on close, still an option with these trail stops? Yes. Yeah, we kept that in there. Let's see if stealth triggers before lightning. Lightning should trigger as soon as that bar closes. If that bar closes, that is. I was even playing around with this afternoon, and I noticed NQ literally went up, had a green stealth, and all of a sudden the market changed. And you're going to definitely get a crummy fill once in a while. That's going to happen regardless when you're trading. Because if they were to slam this right now, for instance, clear to that bottom, your fill would be near that bottom. You know that, right? Because the market would say market order right down there, and that's when it accepts it. Okay, notice that power meter did turn, so you would already be in that trade right now. Stealth should show up any moment. Stealth should show. See when it fills, because you'd already be in on lightning. You'd be in on that bar right there. This one right here with the wick. Maybe this is safer. I think it's safer. A lot of our people trade the stealth because it is a pretty safe trade. I'm going to go ahead and use mid-band for right now and engage the trail. And we'll see if this works out or if they're playing with us. Okay, let's see. It seems you're leaning towards semi-automated trading with stealth and lightning. Well, it is semi-automatic, Dennis, on your question. We have gotten this little strategy where you want to see it, just do it. We'll see if it actually gives us some profit, but let's do it. Let's turn on like that. Let's just see what we get. Because that would mean that if we do get a green stealth, it will flip the trade. Okay. If I put required trend on, it won't let you do a long, see there, because you're short background or short midband. So to do that, you'd have to have no required trend on. And of course, to do a flip, you'd have to be in the profit, and not so much in the profit, but you'd have to have a trade on with targets, right? You want to try that and see if we get something? I'll show you how the auto works on it, because with NQ, you could count on it. It'll turn green sometime. I'll tell you where I think it would do it too. right down here. See where when they break micro, they go to medium. When they break medium, they go down to these larger swings, and I'll bet you they bounce right off that 12. Kiss trade, more than likely. Now, does that give us a vacate in the stealth? Let's find out. Because if it does, that would add contracts there. Let's see if it vacated stealth a little bit. Not so far. Will it? We'll find out. There's a vacated spot right there. If it gets red stealth again, it'll add 4 more contracts. Now that's why I want y'all to be real careful. See there, 7 contracts now. That's why you want to be really careful with how many max contracts you put on your object trader. Okay, I'm defaulting it at 3, but even 3 can be too many sometimes. Okay, so make sure you change that to whatever you want it to be. Okay, see how the trail stop just drops right there with the mid band? Pretty cool. Let's just get our stop for the fun of it out of the way. I want to just see if it'll flip. There's 12. I said it would bounce there. It hadn't bounced much yet, but watch lightning. If stealth turns green, it'll actually flip the trade. It may keep going down. We'll find out. If you look at this, you have a high, a low, a much higher high, a higher low, a little higher high. See here? So this is what I call a medium swing, but this is actually what I call your secondary medium swing on this particular run. Lightning changed to green. We're going to get a red stealth again, or are we going to get a green one? We'll find out. It's set to flip if it gets a green one. Now, if it gets a green one, I would absolutely for sure make sure that I put a tight stop when you're going against the trend. You want to just see? We'll leave it on long and short and just see what we get. Got 4 contracts on, feeling a little bit of heat. It bounced right where I said it would. I'd probably get out of 2 of those contracts about now, or well, actually down here is where I would have, but anyway, let's just let it flip if it does happen to. Green stealth? Nope, not yet. There's your green stealth. It just flipped it. Now I would probably, so you got a blue stealth right here, so you could actually go ahead and put it on stealth. You need to be negative if you're on stealth on a long, remember? So we'll want to put it like a few below it, and then we'll engage our trail. And then I'll go ahead and bring it up just a little bit, like so. See, it gives you the ability to actually do all this on the fly, which negates it being totally automatic because, you're not going to want everything to be totally automatic. You want to be able to change things on the fly. All right, let's disable our trail and let's let this thing flip if it decides to flip. Got a low, a high, ABC, big old Gartley. You're right at phantom. Until it takes out this swing, you're not really heading up. Is this a double bottom? Well, it could definitely be, couldn't it? Let's go ahead and move our target. But we'll also flip it if it goes red. No, in the past, let's see. Oh, that was an old comment? Okay. All right. Now see, the way I've got this set right now, it'll take a reverse. Now, if I turned reverse off, it would just get me out of the trade if this goes red. Everybody knows that, right? Because I've got one contract on, and if it basically gets in one short, it will get it out. But if I put it on reverse, it will actually flip the trade. Okay. Now, I'm not advocating flipping trades, because what I would recommend doing if you're going to do that would be to put a very, very tight stop on it. Because, for instance, this could actually break below this little swing just a little bit and then pop right back up. Because this could be a green stealth, vacate it a little bit, and then pop right back up. It could get us a red stealth. We don't know yet. It's leaning toward it. It's doing a pretty good phantom. We'll just see. We will just see. Do reverse at top. You could actually have reversed that, absolutely, up there even. With did you know you even have a target? Like at Phantom, to give an example, you could reverse a trade if you wanted to. What I'm showing here, though, is just strictly if we could get into a trade, and that actually vacated and gave us another stealth, didn't it? That must have been one of those that didn't quite vacate it, but it closed in stealth size. It closed. Yeah, for some reason, it actually thinks that it's got a vacated part of stealth. Maybe it does. Maybe it's a little bit on the algorithm where it, it can look ahead. Still green so far. Anytime you get a thrust like that, more than likely, they're going to be changing trends. But don't you think they'll probably go down and check that mid band or even lower? I'll draw some lines where I think if they break, this is a big if, we don't know if they're going to. And then even right here is where they broke out. Like that. That's where I'd be looking for it to bounce if it does break. So far, it's still going up. We're fine. Now that makes me a little more nervous. Our power meter is red. Not a biggie though, because it's just vacating stealth. It did catch that ahead of time, didn't it? Let's see what we get here. Now, usually in a case like this, I would probably put my stop just under this swing to the left here. But if it goes and flips it, we'll just flip it. We'll just see how the auto portion of it works in real time. Now that stealth doesn't turn red for a bit. See there? Now it did. That's a little late to me. That's a little late. But I would put my stop probably just right across there, just in case. And probably put it exit on close, more than likely. Like that. See, to me, that's late on that trade. I don't like that as much as I do lightning on this particular one. That's why I don't actually reverse them too often, even on stealth. Because see, with 5 contracts, for instance, that costs you a little bit. But it is still red, so let's just stick with it for a minute. We got our stop in. This is more that choppy stuff. Well, you got you a target anyway. Right there is where it broke out. I'd probably be protecting some coin on this little jewel right here, simply because it came right down to where we thought it should. If it keeps breaking it, you'll be okay. But this particular type trade right here, where it's bouncing off predictor, this could easily just simply, head back up even. And this is that sideways stuff where you see the mid-band is rose color, that you can easily get on the wrong side of the trade too. Now, usually when I see something like this, I scalp. I just scalp this. And I would do it more than likely instead of with stealth, which is more of a breakout trader, with either lightning or like trend lines and things like that, and strictly scalp. To give an example, if it broke above that swing right there, I would probably reverse it for like 5 ticks. See, because otherwise it'll take your stop out. And this is still an uptrend so far. See there? Okay, now we're above mid-band. I would be looking more than likely for my next green stealth. See what I mean? Because you took out your red one. You had just literally a little flip-de-doo. And I would be looking for a green one. Let's see, can you say again why you would scalp? Because of the lightning. See the lightning swing? You know, you have a low, a high, a higher low. I'd be in on that bar probably and get 5 ticks. But I'd keep a very, very tight stop on it too. This trade I also would have scalped short too at that white predictor. But let's just play with the stealth first. Let's just see what we get. Now with this actually going a little bit sideways, usually what I'll end up doing on something like this would be to go ahead and only scalp for a bit, like 5 ticks or something like that. Because for instance, if this turns green on my stealth or even red, you're pretty much going sideways now. So you've had red, I would probably wait for a green. Unless they go ahead and break below mid-band, and then I would probably, you know, look for a red stealth on a second one. Let's see what this gets. I have no idea. 5 o'clock in the morning. See that actually, now that actually got you in a red one because we had it where it was reversing. And of course we missed that one because it was, well, we didn't miss it. It got 5 ticks is what it boiled down to. Yeah, that's the whole thing. You give a whole lot back when you go sideways like that. And that's what you don't want to do. That's why I don't believe in using this reverse, except occasionally. Now see, we got it back amazingly, even with the auto function. I'm going to turn this off. That's too fast. See what I'm getting at there? Because now we're actually short on this, and we probably should definitely protect our coin. Now we're flat. Now that's 8:30 right there. Let's see if we can trade this thing at the 8:30 time. This is my favorite time, but not right at the market open. You want to see if we can get this one? Let's see if we can get this one. We're going to go for 3 contracts. We're going to go for, I would think long, because we're above, predictors are climbing, right? So let's see if we can get some of this back. We'll go a stealth. We'll go ahead and do 4. Let's see if we get a stealth. Now remember, just a minute ago, we had that on scalp when this literally moved up. So 5 ticks obviously was nothing. And I had that thing going 50 times, which was too much. Let's see if we get a little trade. No stealth, that's weird. There's your stealth, got you 4 in a row. Let's see if we get another one. There's another one. I'd probably protect my trade just under that little swing right there myself. Lightning. Turned out to be decent. And if we were using our stop, I've got this still going too fast. It's going like 40 times, 50 times. But anyway, if you were actually using your stop with stealth, see you got taken out here. Or what I would do is watch my lightning swings. I personally like the lightning trail stop the best because I watch these. You know how much I teach on lightning. You have a low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Well, it took out the low, so I'd be out of the trade. See what I mean? I'd be totally out of that trade. And with that double top, I'd probably turn on this one. See if we can get one. So for long stealth stop is, well, it depends, Mindy. You know, I've been playing around with it myself just to see what I like. There's a red stealth, by the way. Anytime I see a double top like this, I'm usually going to be in this trade fairly soon because double tops, well, as a matter of fact, we called it in the room this morning, remember? We called 32 and it came to 32. So we gave up a bunch of that, but the reason was because it was going so darn fast. Don't run it at 50 times if you're trying to teach. Let's see if we can get it back. I'm going to put my stop. Like I say, I like the stop on lightning myself, and I'll show you why. So you have a thrust retrace. I'm going to put it on lightning. I'm going to put it on right there with zero. Whoop, zero. And that would be good. And then I set this as my trail. And that's your trail right there. Okay. Now, even playing around with this, you know, everybody wanted to see it on auto where it goes both ways. I don't recommend doing that because when you see higher lows and higher highs, do you want to take these little quick shorts that'll cost you 4 contracts and 20 ticks? No. No, you don't. What you want to do instead is you want to wait. To give an example, like let's say you didn't even want this trade right here. Where's the trade going to set up on this chart? Anybody? If they decide to break down, just like we teach in every webinar, you've got to swing right across here. Okay? I would expect if they're going to head down, they'll break it, they'll come back and kiss it, and they'll roll over. Okay? This trade right here is dangerous because we don't know if this is going to bounce. This is at the open. I remember we called this trade in the room. I'm almost positive right under here. But see what I'm getting at here? You're going to always be a little breakout trade if you do stealth because, well, there's stealth right there. Okay? Now, if I get in a trade like this and I've got a high, a low, a lower high, and a lower low, I'll leave my stop there. Or at least put it on the one, you know, which is that next one down. Actually, let's see. One should have gone down a little bit. Maybe it didn't. Let's engage it. Yeah, see there? That's one right there. And I'd probably raise it up just a little bit like that, just so it doesn't get taken out so easily, and do that. Because you can do that in real time. Let's see, we've got a few minutes. Let's just see if we can get a bunch of this back. Now, this again is what happens at the open like this. And see, we just went negative simply because of having both those on. I highly don't recommend that. Now, if you get in that shape right there, you got to get $250 back. See what I mean? Let's go ahead and we'll go a red stealth. If we get a red stealth, let's just see if we get a red stealth. Because see what can happen to you really quick? That's what can happen to you really quick. And that's what you don't want to do. What I would recommend highly would be if you can see higher highs and higher lows, don't take these little ones like that. You know, we turned that on just because somebody asked us to, but look what it did. And how many times have you been in a situation like that where you've had to gain it back? Well, let's see if we can gain it back. Let's see if we can gain it back. There's resistance. Now, I'd be going right like this myself. That's resistance. Okay, I expect that to hold. Okay, and probably simply because I would be upset if I had turned that on like that, I would more than likely even jump in a few more here even. But we'll let stealth do it instead. If it happens to break, that is. Okay. And I would put my stop on this one. Let's see, we haven't gotten our red stealth just yet. I'm going to close that out if it goes above mid-band, and we'll go with the red stealth instead. If it closes above mid-band, I'll get out. Like that. And then we'll use stealth. Let's see, for long stealth, stop it. Oh, okay, Mindy, on your question, does everybody see what I'm talking about right here? You notice in every webinar that we've been able to stay totally green because we trade it the correct way, not the dumb way. I started to stay stupid, but it is stupid, okay? Because here's what happens if you do this. Let me just get rid of all the lines. Get rid of all the lines. We'll get rid of the trail stops and everything. How many of you would short that? And how many would you short that? And how many would you short that? And the answer is probably nobody, right? If you're going to short for scalps, I'd use lightning. You know, for instance, you get a double top and it breaks here. You want to try to get 5 ticks. That's a whole lot better than stealth on that type of trade. This is a more conservative trade, okay? If you're going to scalp up in here, draw a trend line even, for instance. You know, if you see this happening in real time and you say, you know what, it double topped. So if it closes, I'm going to take a quick scalp, you know. But just remember that you are scalping when you do that, okay? Because by turning both of those on right there, this is not a bad trade here. When I get a thrust like that, I would probably turn it on and get a quick move like that because these are really good when they thrust down like that. But when it starts going sideways like this, don't go, you know, short and then long and then short and then long and all that. Stay with the particular trend. If it, you know, thrusts up really good and you get a higher low, go with the green. See what I mean? Don't go with these reds. Okay? Because I've run this. I ran this for 2 days straight and left it on fully auto the other day. And by leaving it on fully auto, it did 881 trades in 2 days, about $3,200 in commissions, and you were at about 65%. See, what you want to do is you want to stay with the trend. What you've got, a high, a low, lower high, lower low. I would be looking to short this, okay? Because just like we talked about in the room today, this is a short area right here. Okay, let's see if we can get something, and then we'll wrap. Now, the only way I would take the green on this particular would be if we get a thrust up, get a green background, pull back, and get this type of trade, okay? Because with a red background and a mid-band like this, these type trades like this will not pay. They will not pay you. I can promise you. Even on 5 ticks, normally they won't pay you. If you're going to take that type of trade, you just literally need to look at support areas and buy it. See that support area right across there? Just buy it right there. Take a chance on it and then put your stop, you know, really, really nice and tight. Let's see if we get a short trade out of this thing. Either that or we're going to get a green background and we'll look for the pullback. Okay, see how late even conservative stealth can take a trade like that? That's a little too late to me, okay? Because I would have liked that trade right up here, and I called this trade in the room this morning. Remember, right here, we boxed it in. Okay, well, we're only 150 down now. Let's see if we can get some of it back. I'm going to short it again. If it comes up, well, we got a stealth anyway, so we shorted it with stealth. Let's see if we can get it all back. Remember, if you move it when they're really moving fast, you got to move them and drop them. And I'd put my stop just above that predictor right there. Well, we'll do it one more time. We got down 340. There we go. Now this is actually with doing the wrong thing, what I was showing you here, to just put it on auto. That's not a good way to trade. See, we were up like what, 1,000 at one time, and now you got to get it back because what happened? Well, because you let it go on auto. Don't do that. Yeah, 1,700 as a matter of fact. Yeah. So I would be actually putting my stop up higher and just let this thing go. I don't know why that's. Let's go with number 8 for the fun of it, just for a minute. We got back. I couldn't move that quick enough. I've got it going 50 times again. So, what does everybody think? If you're going to play with stealth, you know, even in sim as far as that goes, be sure and do it the right way and trade it. See there, like that gets you like a really quick little trade. I probably wouldn't have taken that one way down here, but we'll go ahead and suffer through it since I left it on. We'll see if it at least gets us our targets. I like stealth too. The one thing I wanted to mention though, and probably even during a webinar, just because somebody asked to do something, I wanted to show how it actually will work that way, but that's not what you want to do, okay? You don't want to just make this thing go either direction. You want to watch, see, like for instance right here, they came, they gave you a green stealth. Could you have gotten a scalp there? More than likely. But stay with the trend and watch and see if we don't get another trade. We're back to 855. Let's see if we get something. Still a downtrend as far as I'm concerned. Remember I called this in the room this morning. Remember right up there? Okay. Let's see if we can get a trade. Now we did take this trade. Remember, we got a long this morning. We called it right here, boxing it in the room. Okay. And when it thrusts down like this, you can take that green one or the second green one. Okay. But your overall trend is still down so far. See there? Just got you a nice little short trade again. I'll go ahead and let it tag that target because it's too close for me to drag it. There we go. See there? And remember, what was this retracement? It was 38% on that huge big move, wasn't it? It was 38% on that huge big move. Okay, what does everybody think? Stealth will be, I think instead of releasing it tonight, I'm going to at least call the guy and find out why I lost my targets tonight, because I shouldn't have lost my targets with him bulletproofing it. So I'm going to ask him to look at this webinar at that time and see if he can figure it out. When you tested it, well, that's one thing too, Mindy, that I would highly recommend if you're going to trade NQ. You'll probably take some lumps with it, but keep in mind that if you'll actually above midband, look for longs, and below midbands, look for shorts, I think you'll do pretty good on NQ. Because NQ is like a house of fire. It literally just trades like a house of fire. And I don't know if anybody remembers, but you know, pretty much before we closed the room down, this thing dropped again. It came to a 38% retracement, and down she went from that huge move. Everybody remember that? I think I ran out of data. Absolutely. Dennis is saying, stay with the trend, 0 to 8 trades weekly. Absolutely. And let's see, somebody else, total move today from 7 to 1 p.m. was 248 ticks. Yeah, and that's the thing with NQ. I mean, it moves like a little house of fire. And if you get on the right side of the trade, you'll do quite nicely. I thought it was out of data. It slowed down, but it went short on a stealth. I think I leaned against my remote deal. Okay. The main thing with NQ is you've just got to watch it, you know, in real time and make sure that you stay on the right side of the trade. If it's below mid-band and it's got that red background, you're pretty safe. For instance, with 8, I got this all the way back to 17 again. See what I mean? But we did it the right way. We traded with the trend. Okay? And keep in mind your overall trend is very, very important, especially when you get near these fibs and things like that. Because even though this went green and everything, and we got these trades this morning in the room, the better trade was right here when it literally rolled over. And remember, it thrust down, it came back and kissed. We called that trade in the room this morning. Stealth actually rolled over, and you got the trade. You got another trade right there. Okay, so we got it all back. We did good. All right. Wow, look at that thing drop. Mercy. So everybody's got it in mind, right? Do not go against the trend in auto, because auto doesn't know that you're losing money or making money. It's going to make those trades, okay? Because if it goes a green stealth and you got it set to flip, it's going to flip it, okay? But wouldn't the better trade be, just like we always teach, stick with the trend? When you get a thrust up and you pull back into mid-band, sure, you can take a green one then. Wow, look at that. We got 33.05 and hit all of our targets. Okay, anyway, let me not release it tonight like I thought I was going to, because I want to at least get a hold of the man himself and ask him why I still lost that target, because I played this thing all day Saturday at 500 times and I never lost one line. And I'm going to ask him if it's something to do with dragging, or like I said, it never lost it until I dragged that price. Okay. We will see everybody tomorrow morning. Thanks for coming. Sorry I ran about 10 minutes over. Have a great evening, and we'll do this for real in the room tomorrow morning, okay? Good night, everyone. Thanks. I did finally run out of data. All right, I'll get this posted also so anybody can watch it. And remember, when you see that part where we actually flipped it, that'll eat a P&L up in a heartbeat. You saw it. Took away $1,700. Don't do it. All right, good night, everyone.